Hello, hello, beautiful souls. Ooh, it's 2:22, going live on some angel numbers today. I hope your day is going absolutely amazing. I am just sitting out here enjoying the sunshine. I took a nap today, got some work done, and I just feel nice and cool. And I was just like thinking about all these things, and I felt inspired to go live and talk about how we can really get into a frequency. Hey Victor, how's it going? Where we just become magnetic, right? Where we just become magnetic for our dreams, for our goals. And we have been in this culture of hustle, of grind, of do. And we do it to the point where we're just like exhausted and we have nothing else to give, and sometimes people get sick. Like there's this culture, and this is going to completely shatter this whole idea, because it's so heavily ingrained, and it might piss people off. And I'm not saying don't work hard. The key here is learning how to decipher between your ego and your soul. Because if you're in your ego and you're taking action from your ego, you're taking a place from fear, right? And so you might be going after your dreams or taking certain actions because of a certain fear, and there's actually depleting your energy, right? Because that feels like force, right? You're kind of forcing yourself to take this action. It kind of feels like mud, and sometimes you're gonna run into certain things that you don't really like, but you want to make sure that you have, enthusiasm, you have excitement, right? There's one more thing. I think it's I can't remember who it is, but maybe someone knows if you're hopping on. But you have to have certain things to support you in taking action, right? And in order to do less, right, you have to be able to actually get really quiet within yourself and to listen to your intuition, to listen to your heart, to listen to your soul. And this is so much different than what our culture tells us, because our culture, we're so heavily ingrained to think with our minds and not with our hearts. So this is a training that needs to happen. We have to drop into the heart, and the heart is always going to guide you into something that is going to be extremely uncomfortable, right? It's going to stretch you. It's going to push you. It's going to be out of your comfort zone. It's may not make sense, right? Or it may feel like, you might fail. It's going to bring up all these fears, right? So that is a natural process, right? And how do you start to live in this way of being able to do less and receive more? Well, one of my mantras is, when I rest, I receive, right? So when you start allowing yourself to when you start to allow yourself to rest, are you actually resting, or are you constantly worried about the things that you have to get done? Are you stressed out? Are you worried? Are you thinking about all these things? If you're doing that, you're not actually resting, you're stressing. And so start to give yourself time to actually rest without guilt, without shame, without worry, without these things. And then your body's going to actually start to shift, and you're going to have more energy. You're going to start filling up your cup. And rest can be taking a nap. It can be, sitting outside, going for a walk, whatever it is that feels called for you, reading a book, watching a movie, whatever. And so the more that you can be okay resting and not feeling guilty for resting, then you can allow yourself to shift even the internal dialogue that resting is allowed. So say you had a mother when she was pregnant with you, and she refused to rest, and she worked during her pregnancy. Most likely you have a hard time resting. And so you want to pay attention. Did your parents have a hard time resting, right? This is something that was learned. There's this thing called epigenetics, where certain patterns and energies and traumas are passed down through the generations. And so if your mom didn't rest, then you might have a hard time resting, or maybe you learned it from your dad too. And so this is going to really shift everything in your life, because if you want to be able to rest more, if you want to be able to rest and receive more, or become more magnetic, right? The more that you heal, the more magnetic you become, because you're no longer holding on to energies that are resisting the reality that you desire. Which is why healing is, I believe, the cure-all to every problem in the world. And yes, of course, there's other things that you need, but at the very core, at the very essence, healing is what can shift everything. Spirituality, everything is spirituality. Everything is consciousness, and everything is growth, right? And yes, you can have strategy and all these things and different understandings, like those are all parts of it. But what I have found is, when we start healing ourselves, then we start to remove these layers, and we start to allow the real us to come through. Because the real you are a magnificent soul. Your birthright is abundance, okay? Put that in the comments. My birthright is abundance. And when you remember that, then okay, let's go on this journey of removing the layers that are not allowing the abundance in. Because there's avalanches of abundance coming into you, okay? Like life, think about just the idea of being alive. That is like such an abundant gift, is just to be able to be alive. That alone. And when you were a baby, you were always taken care of. When you had no ability to take care of yourself, you were already taken care of. So you were already receiving abundance. But as we grew up, we started to develop self-esteem. We started to develop doubts, and we started to develop these thoughts and these fears. And then we started to push the abundance away. And so that's why when you start to realize what you are, and that's what healing is all about, is realizing and remembering who you truly are, then you start to become more magnetic. You start to embody your soul. And the more that you embody your soul in this body, you become this magnet for miracles, for your desires, and you start to hear the messages from your soul, from your creator, on what the next step is to take. And this is a practice, right? And it's not just like hearing it internally, it's seeing it all around you, because life, your creator, your soul is trying to give you everything in this life to support you in healing what you need to heal, so you can get into alignment with your soul. So you become that magnet. So you become energized in this frequency that is you just attracting and being in this ebb and flow of the universe. It's so powerful. And we can get to a point where we're doing less, but the action that we're taking isn't from the ego. It's not from force. It's from our soul. And from that place, that's when you take effortless action. You take soul-aligned action. And so to do this, we have to really start to unravel the layers that are keeping us dense, right? That's keeping us blocked, breaking the illusions that we are not enough to deserve abundance or to deserve our dreams or things like that. And so the more that we can remove these layers and remember who we are, that you're not limited, you're limitless, you start to then embody that energy, that frequency of your desires. And think about the desires that you have, right? Because who gave you those ideas? Who gave you those desires? God, universe, source, whatever you believe, like it was planted in your mind for a reason. You are destined to have those things. But are you getting in your own way by listening to the doubts, listening to the fears, listening to the not enoughness? And so the more that you can break those illusions and get back into your heart, and you start to live from this place, that is going to change everything. And I know this might sound very simplistic, but this is truly our way of being able to shift out of this hustle paradigm and really start to tap into the frequency of our soul, because the frequency of our soul is magnetic. And in that energy, we start to be in the flow of the universe. And that's why like miracles happen. You probably have seen people that are so magnetic that they think of something and it comes to them. Right? And so this is possible for everybody. We have the ability and the ways of being able to manipulate in a positive way, if we want, to our reality. But that's why great power comes great responsibility. Each of us has this power, but it takes time to develop, and it takes time to unravel the unconscious aspects that are splintered from the personality. Because when the personality is splintered from the soul, that's what creates the not enoughness. That's what creates the disease. That's what creates the the doubts, right? These parts of us that are not realizing the truth of who we are. So healing is all about bringing ourselves back into that oneness with our soul, integrating the personality with our soul so that we can then become the magnet for our dreams and our desires. And that's where we can get into this effortless ease. And I've been really practicing that more and more for myself, and supporting my clients in getting into this energy where it's just like, they have a breakthrough, and instead of getting kind of lost in the lesson, they'll start to let the lesson in. They'll start to let more love in. They'll start to let more money in. They'll start to allow more relationships in. They'll feel more presence, more joy, more connection, and more just beingness within themselves. And that, even that alone, the mere just presence within your being, that is true abundance. And abundance isn't always about the things that you get, right? Or how much money you attain. Abundance is a frequency. It's an energy. It's what you are. Remember, like even your energy is pure abundance, pure love. And we forget that throughout this life because of things that we've experienced, people that have told us that we're not enough, or they say money grows on trees. Like there's all these stories, all these conditions that we've been taught that blind us from seeing the abundance of what we are. We are the abundance. And so part of my role, my job is supporting people in awakening to the truth of who they are. It's not also even like an awakening. It's just a remembrance. It's a remembrance. This is things that you already know. And so I love this topic because it is so fascinating. Oh, let me check the comments. Yes, Rohan. Yes. Glad to see you here, my friend. And so the more that we can, one, you just connect with any disbelief that you can't allow abundance in effortlessly. It's possible. It's possible. And we just need to process the part of us that resists it, because we have this giant shield that's blocking all the abundance from coming, and that's blocking the love in. And when we start to remove that barrier, because it's just a barrier of protection, right? From trauma, from triggers, from childhood experiences. And so when we start to do the healing work, this is why I love this work, because it just allows and opens up all the doors, right? Sometimes life can go crumbling down, but then we rebuild it back up and it's even better than it was before. Or we start to open up to more abundance, more love, more joy, more freedom, like all these things. And it ebbs and flows. It ebbs and flows. And so I hope that you take this information today and knowing that it is possible to be able to do less, receive more, to rest and receive. Something I tell myself over and over and over again is, when I rest, I receive. When I rest, I receive. And like I said, I've been napping more, and that has felt so good in my being and my body. And so I'm listening to that. And so I invite you to start to slow down even more. Slow down and listen to your heart. Slow down and listen to what your soul is trying to tell you, because your creator, your soul, is trying to support you in every single moment. In every single experience. Every experience is trying to help you. It's trying to heal you. It's trying to grow you. It's trying to help you remember who you are. That's why that statement, life happening for you, not to you, is so powerful. It goes even deeper than what we even can think. And if we actually truly acknowledge that and knew that, then we wouldn't be judging our reality. We wouldn't be doubting our reality. And so this is allowing yourself to go even deeper. And so start to slow down, start to listen to what your body needs. Your body tells you what you need. Look at your reality. What is your reality telling you? What are the lessons that your experiences are trying to grow you? If you have dissonance in an area of your life, okay, what is this teaching me? What is this trying to show me about me? What is this trying to heal in me? Right? And then you start to see, okay, this might be the lesson, and I'm going to apply the lesson that feels good. And you start to do your own internal workings, because the more you start to do the internal workings, that's how you shift your outward reality. So it takes time to be able to come into this presence within yourself, to be able to see that inner workings and allowing yourself to connect into what it is that's blocking you. So the more that you connect into that, the more that you can shift on the inside, then you will start to shift things on the outside. So take this information, take this wisdom, knowing that it is possible to do less and receive more, knowing that this energy is just coming from a frequency of being in your heart and being in your soul. And if you want to get more into your soul, it's processing and integrating the personality back into oneness with your soul. And the more that you do that, you start to rise in your power, and you start to feel more of your superpowers, more of your spiritual gifts in ways that you've never imagined. So please share some of the takeaways you're getting from today. Thank you all for hopping on. I felt super inspired to come on here today. I'm sending you all so much love. I hope your day is amazing. I hope the rest of your day goes amazing. And I'll see you all next time. Thank you. Mwah.